Hello everyone, my name is Joe, welcome to Introducer Joe. Today guys, we'll be discussing a concern or an issue a lot of my audience may have, and that is having a full-time job while trying to pursue portrait/fashion photography. Sorry guys, it's really sunny out today, so the exposure might be like changing throughout the entire video because the sun keeps coming in, it keeps coming out. It's very annoying, but whatever, right? So admittedly, I haven't been in your situation. Like, I haven't been in a situation where I've had to balance out a full-time job with photography because I decided to pursue photography at a quite young age. I still lived at my parents' house. I had no job, I had no responsibilities. I could just live, think, breathe photography. But now I actually make a pretty decent income from photography and I make enough money to cover all my living expenses and a bit more. So in this video, I will help guide you into how you can pursue your passion as a photographer while also having a full-time job and making photography your full-time job. So if you're watching this video and you have a full-time or part-time job, your main concern may be that you don't have enough time or energy to put into your photography because your current job is taking up all of that already. But I would actually argue that having a full-time or part-time job while trying to pursue photography actually puts you in a better and more ideal position compared to someone like me who started out with no job and lived at my parents' house. I've spoken to quite a lot of photographers out there that have full-time jobs while trying to do photography, and I always say this to them, right? Because you have a full-time job, you have much more spending power and a lower risk margin when it comes to pursuing your photography business. Now, obviously guys, I'm not assuming your financial position. Like, I'm not thinking like you have loads of money or anything like that, right? But what I'm saying is, right, if you have a full-time job, you most likely have some extra spending money to spend or to invest in to your own photography. So stuff like buying new gear, hiring out studios, hiring out locations if you needed, maybe even like hiring out a more professional model maybe, or something like that. Maybe it's renting out gear. There's so many different things that you can spend your money on. Compared to someone like me who started out with no job and basically no money at all, right? Like back then I couldn't afford to buy any gear. Like the only gear I had was the gear that I got for Christmas from my parents and stuff like that. And even then the gear wasn't like the best gear in the world or anything like that, but like, as someone who has a job and everything like that, you probably have enough money to spend like a decent amount of money on like a nice camera kit, a nice lens, and a nice camera body. I'm not saying you can get like the most expensive stuff, like the best stuff, but you could probably afford like some decent gear. And if you have the extra cash to do so, to like invest into your photography, like your gear and your studios or anything like that, right? I always preach that the best way to start landing consistent clients and consistent paid work is to start by doing collaborative and free shoots. Meaning you probably have to go out your own pocket when it comes to doing some of your free collaborative shoots, depending on your vision, of course. Again, that could be booking out a studio, renting out gear, maybe even hiring a team or hiring some resources to do something like that. Maybe there's a shoot that you want to have like some props in it, some set design. Maybe you want to buy the props and buy the materials for the set design. There's loads of stuff you can invest your money in here. In those beginning stages, don't expect to get any paid work for a while, or at least paid work that you feel as if like you're happy with doing for the rest of your career. You know what I mean? Like in those early stages, if you're going to get paid work, you're probably going to get paid work that isn't really something that you see yourself doing in the future. You know what I mean? It's more because you're just doing it because you want some extra cash, you want some money to put towards other stuff, again, like your gear or your studio shoots. And in my experience, the only way you can eventually land jobs is by creating a portfolio your ideal clients want to see. Make sure to experiment and be creative on all your photo shoots. Treat these collaborative and free shoots as a way of, as your field ground to experiment and find your style and to start creating work. Start by creating work that, again, your ideal clients want to see. And by ideal clients, I'm meaning clients that will give you the creative control to let yourself shine and let you actually like express yourself through your work. Because our goal as photographers, especially portrait and fashion photographers, is to land consistent jobs where we have full creative input, or we have a lot of the creative input where we actually feel proud of creating. We don't want to keep landing these jobs or getting paid for jobs that we don't really like, we don't really have any input in, and we're just doing it for money. You know what I mean? We want to land jobs which we have our own style behind it, so that we can really express our personalities through our work. And the only way to get those jobs is by doing those free and collaborative shoots in those beginning stages. Like I said, use that time to experiment and find your style to help express yourself. Like obviously now, right, I feel like I make a consistent income from photography. Obviously I can make much more, but right now I feel like I don't think I've ever made more money than I ever had, which is really good. But the only reason why that is the case is because I had to do so many free and collaborative shoots in the early stages. I've done so, especially last year in 2024 alone, when I've really started to pursue it properly. Like 2023 is when I started it, but like 2024 was like, that was the year where I was like, I locked in. I had to do, oh my God, I did so many collaborative shoots before I actually started to land paid jobs, you know what I mean? So that is what you need to do first. You need to do a bunch of free shoots. And if you have a full-time job, you have the money to spend on these free shoots. Also, guys, I'm not saying that you have to go out of pocket for every single collaborative shoot that you do. There will be certain collaborative shoots that you do that you don't have to spend any money at all. But there's going to be some jobs, if you want to do something more ambitious and something more out there, maybe something in the studio, you may have to like spend money on hiring out a studio, unless you already own one, but you probably have to hire out a studio, hire out gear, whatever it is. But for the most part, you can probably spend £0 or $0 on your next photo shoot, right? And because you have a job, you don't have to worry about getting any paid shoots for a while. Don't think that you need to get paid shoots in the next like month or 2 months after pursuing it, you know what I mean? Like, because you have a full-time job, you have something to fall back on every single time, which gets rid of that like risk factor, you know what I mean? That's why I said lower risk margin, right? You have lower risk there because it's like, it's not like you have to rely on your photography for your income and to pay rent and to make ends meet, because you always have that, like already have that full-time job you can go back to. So if you don't get any paid work for the next like 4 months in those early stages, it's not really a big deal. As long as that 4-month period you spent like building up a portfolio that you're proud of and making amazing work, that's all that matters, because that eventual paid job will come. And think about it like this, right? If you have a full-time job, you're essentially getting paid to experiment and to build up a portfolio that you're proud of. Don't see these early stages as a boring endeavor. See it as the most fun that you will ever have as a photographer, because this is the time where you get to experiment with everything. You get to experiment with different lighting techniques, grading, new styles, new color palettes, etc. And you don't have that stress of like, oh, it's a paid shoot, so I need to deliver perfect every single time. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to create shit photos. Don't play it safe on every single photo shoot that you do, and like, don't feel like, oh, if I tried that, it might turn out that good. It doesn't matter, guys, because again, it's a free or collaborative shoot, so don't feel as if like you have that pressure of creating amazing photos every single time. Because guys, in 2024 and 2023, when I did a bunch of these collaborative shoots, I did so many like stinker shoots that did not turn out that good. I was like, ugh, they weren't that good. I didn't even post them or something like that. They weren't even like that good photos. And it's just like, it's whatever, because it's a free shoot, it's not a big deal. If it was a paid shoot, it's a big deal, but if it's a free shoot, it's like, well, I just spent this time trying to experiment and trying something new. I actually spoke to someone on my free online community, Photo Genius Academy. By the way, top link description below, where you can check it out. You can join it for completely free today. We do like group calls once a month, once every 2 months, kind of catch up, you know what I mean, with the community. You should definitely join, because I want to see you on those calls. Again, guys, top link description below. You join for completely free, so yeah. And the person I spoke to has a full-time job, and I told him this exact thing, doing these regular shoots. And you can see in his portfolio that he was doing these regular shoots, and we were able to find out what type of work that he likes to create through the variety of photos that he had in his portfolio. He has all of these responsibilities. He has a family, he works, he has a full-time job, all that type of stuff, but he still finds time to pursue his photography by doing these regular collaborative shoots. And that actually landed him some occasional paid shoots too. So what is your excuses, guys? So you need to do the same. So guys, I'm gonna give you like a little action step that you can do, or task that you can do in the weekend or whenever you're free, so you know where to start. I want you to spend the first 1 to 3 hours of your day thinking, breathing, and just living photography, basically. Make photo shoot concepts, organize shoots, network with people, make some connections online, shop for new gear, find inspiration, all that type of stuff. I did say spend the first 1 to 3 hours doing it. That's just a personal preference for me, because I feel the most productive in the morning or the first thing in the morning. You may not feel the same. You may feel like you're more of a night owl and you work better at night. Whatever it is, just make sure that there's that gap, or that time period, that 1 to 3 hour time period is not spread out. Make sure it's in one big chunk. Don't spread it out throughout the day, because you're gonna get distracted. put it into one chunk, right? Whatever time it is throughout the day, if it's middle of the day, at night, in the morning, wherever it is, spend those 3 hours, 1 to 3 hours, just doing everything to do with photography. And because then once you finish that, you can go about your day and do whatever you want. And if you do this at least once or twice a week, you're going to see so much progress as a photographer, because you're telling yourself, you're checking yourself and being like, okay, I want to do photography. I want to pursue it, because you can't expect to eventually make your photography a full-time job if you don't treat it like it's a full-time job. Like, obviously you can say you have the excuse of like, I have a full-time job right now, whatever, but it's like, you're never going to be able to make photography your full-time job and to replace your current job if you don't treat it that seriously. You need to spend like once or twice a week, like sitting down for a couple of hours and thinking about photography, like only thinking and breathing and working on your photography business, basically. Well, again, like, look what I said. Make photo shoot concepts, organize shoots, make connections, all that type of stuff. Because this is my entire goal on this YouTube channel and through my programs, is that I want you to make as fast as progress as possible as a photographer, and to escape that rut that you may be in right now as a photographer, or will be in. So when you're ready, check the top link below and join my free online community, Photo Genius Academy. I kind of mentioned it earlier. It's completely free. That will give you all the training that you need to get out of that creative rut and to understand what you need to do right now as a photographer to start making progress and to start landing some jobs. So yeah, and build a portfolio that you're proud of too. So yeah, click the top link below and join for completely free today. And if you want more personal and more in-depth training about your portrait photography, guys, check the second link below. It's my paid program, Photo Genius University. That will give you access to even more in-depth courses and also personal training with me. I'll give you your custom blueprint into your success as a photographer, and I'll essentially just like hold your hand throughout your whole journey just to make it as easy as possible for you. So yeah, if you're interested in that, click the second link below to make faster results. But yeah, guys, that is it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys found this useful. Comment down below if you have a full-time job right now. Let me know what your experience is like as who has a full-time job and is trying to pursue photography. Let me know if this advice was helpful for you. Take the action steps I told you. Spend a couple of hours a week just thinking and breathing photography, because that is what's really going to help you make fast progress. Because you don't have to actually spend that much time pursuing your photography. You don't actually have to spend like hours every single day, 6 hours every single day, something like that, right? You really only have to spend a few hours a week, really, like, to really see progress. So yeah, just do that. You probably have a few hours a week, right? Even if you have a full-time job, you have a weekend, right? Weekends, you don't work weekends. Hopefully you don't work 7 days a week, because if you do, maybe you should pick a different job. But if you work 7 days a week, 9-10 hours a day, maybe it's a bit of a different situation, right? But if you have a normal job and you don't work that much, then this is probably fine. So yeah, anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, click on any of these videos here to learn more about portrait photography, and I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.